Much an endurance test as a measure of driving skill. Among them, a team headed by Cambridgeshire driver Will Hoy. It was his first Le Mans race, and Bob Ledwidge and our Look East cameras were there to sample the flavour of this gruelling event.
As I surveyed the scene before the start, my sense of anticipation was fuelled by the French voices around me. For them, Le Mans isn't just a race, it's one of the big international events of the year. There are more Britons competing here than any other foreign nationality. This was the car we came to concentrate on, a Tiga-Ford from Silverstone, driven by Will Hoy. The fiberglass front was lifted on, and the team hoped that technical troubles which had affected this and their other car in practice wouldn't resurface during the race. The headlights were connected up for what was going to be a hard night's driving ahead. Will, not long to go before the race. How do you think you've prepared yourself in the car?
Well, we've had a few problems in practice, but it went very well this morning in the warm-up, and it looks good now. We've solved all the problems we had, but it's a long race, of course, and a lot can happen in 24 hours. It really is a test of endurance.
Will's car, number 99, gathered speed on a warm-up lap, leading to a rolling start for the 50 cars taking part. The two Tiga-Fords came round together. The team knew they weren't going to be the fastest, but they were banking on 24-hour staying power. Then, early on, while other cars made progress around the 8.5-mile circuit, problems started to pile up for Will Hoy's team. First, number 98 came into the pits. Each car has 3 drivers who take it in turns throughout the 24 hours. Number 98's next driver, François Duret, kept calm whilst mechanics worked on his car. Then number 99 got stuck out on the circuit as Will Hoy waited to take over.
There's a slight problem. The fan belt's come off on the Mulsanne straight, but he should bring the car back in soon because there's a spare fan belt in the car. So, a few minutes.
98 had blown a head gasket and the mechanics had problems trying to fix it. When the other car limped in, it had a header tank leak as well as a broken fan belt. Team owner and manager Roy Baker was a worried man. He'd brought 2 cars and 40 people to Le Mans. The thought of dropping out within a few hours was too dismal to dwell on. So Will Hoy quietly contemplated the job he'd have ahead once his car was repaired. Le Mans is all about getting as many laps under your belt as possible within the fuel limit allowed. A steady car like the Tiga-Ford can't afford to be off the track too long. At last, Will Hoy was away, much to the relief of his team in the pits. Over a vicious hump at the end of the 3-mile-long Mulsanne straight, then a sharp corner right. This is where another important part of the team is working, signalling times and relaying messages.
But he's going well at the moment. Okay, he's going well at the moment. Check.
One of the early leaders is number 18, an Italian-driven Porsche. Meanwhile, at fun fairs round the circuit, younger drivers imagine they're in the lead. Souvenirs are on sale day and night, and in a sense, Le Mans becomes a stage for Frenchmen to play their parts to an international audience. Behind the pits, some of Will Hoy's team were already catching up on lost sleep. Steve, a mechanic, used the only bed available, a set of tyres. As the sun sank on Saturday, the team's spirits rose. By 3 o'clock in the morning, Roy Baker's Tiga-Fords had been relentlessly clocking up the laps for several hours.
The possibility of finishing at the Moors enough to keep anybody going. It's, you know, one-off. Mr. Ford will be rather happy. Mr. Ganley of Tigers will be happy, and my bank manager will be happy.
What sensations do you feel as you're scooting around that track?
Well, obviously one of speed, because the Le Mans Arn Straight's so long, you're touching nearly 200 miles an hour, and there's a kink at the end of it, which you take flat. But you're also aware of all the people around you and watching, and the funfair as you're going past. It's an extraordinary race from that point of view, and you can even smell people cooking barbecues and things like that. So it's fabulous experience.
Some of the people who worked on the food stalls couldn't stand the pace, but most of them, like the drivers, kept going through the night. Number 99 came in to refuel and change drivers. Will Hoy seemed to relish the prospect of another 2-hour stint at the wheel. After a quick final inspection, the car was ready to roll again. It's now almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and the 53rd annual Le Mans 24-hour race is nearly 13 hours old. Despite the fact that it's pitch black all around the course, beers are being bought, food is being eaten, life goes on, even though the life is being squeezed out of us and the drivers who are having to stay the course. Life began to stir early in the team kitchen yesterday morning as 20 breakfasts were prepared to keep the crew fueled for the final stages. Will's fatigue was showing. He'd driven an extra hour on his nighttime session and hadn't had any sleep at all. The scrambled egg and sausage sandwiches were eaten enthusiastically. 17 cars had dropped out by midday, but Will's kept going at average lap speeds of 110 miles per hour. Then at 3 o'clock, the race ended in pandemonium, with fans running onto the track and engulfing the cars. Will, you finished your first Le Mans. What's it like?
Absolutely amazing. Can't believe it. It's been on the brink for the last 24 hours. And actually get there is such an achievement, especially the first time. And it's, you know, thanks to all the team. I mean, there's 40 of us, and they've all worked so hard without hardly any sleep. Amazing.
Having come fourth in his class, Will was fully entitled to celebrate his first Le Mans.
Well done, Will Hoy, and well done, Sleepy Bob.